Come on. Hello. There we go. Okay, microphone wasn't working for a second, but now it seems to be. So, good afternoon and happy Saturday, everybody. It is time to make some music. I'm back, and we got a couple new people to welcome. First off, I thought I'd say hello to Museum of Techno. Thanks for joining our little gang. And hello to Jason, and also a hello to Benjamin Soma. Glad you guys could join us. It's always nice to have some new folks who want to learn and play around and break things. And yeah, let's get her going. So, got a couple of plans for today. First of all, here's the song we're going to jam around with. Thought I'd give you a little peek on that. Let's see if we've got some good sound levels. We seem to. Sweet. Pull up my notes. Pull up a video. Today we're going to go through a little tutorial, and I think part of that is I think it's valuable to learn how to learn. We're going to go through a tutorial, we're going to take a couple of notes on it. It's only 9 minutes long, and it's going to help us to turn our attention a little deeper into the sound engine for our PS3 synth. We've got the MIDI pretty well squared away. We knocked out a couple of bugs last time. Here's our list. We get to write a happy little done next to a couple of these. So we figured out why Special Moves was invisible. The patcher was in the wrong folder, and now it is in the right folder and it is being found. And we also fixed the right joystick mapping controls that were reversed. Still a few things to do on our list here, but we'll come back to those. Today's mission is a polysynth. So last time we made a little thingy with a super saw, and we hit a problem where we had to copy and paste it a bunch of times in order to get more than one note at once. And this is solved by the Tilde object. So I found this nice little tutorial that we're going to go through together to make our synth truly poly. And then we can jam over this song with it. That's the plan. So I'll pause it there and let's get going. I've got a notes file, I've got my tutorial. I'm going to write down a couple things as I watch it because that helps me to keep track of things so that we can really ingrain the knowledge in our brain. And we're going to build along with it too. And once we get it built, then we're going to move it over into our actual patch. So let's do it.
Let's plug in this USB MIDI keyboard and build a simple polyphonic synth. Along the way, we're going to learn some really useful MSP techniques. A note-in object has 3 outlets: pitch, velocity, and channel, but we'll use only the first 2. Packing the pitch and velocity together into a 2-element list. By hooking up the output of pack to the right inlet of a message box, we can see the incoming messages. As I play the keyboard, I see notes beginning and ending. In Max, a note off is indicated by a velocity of 0. Any non-zero velocity is a note on.
So I'm going to say so far, this is pretty similar to what we want, except that one thing that we stumbled on last time is that we're not packing our MIDI notes into a single message. So I'm going to start off in a fresh patch here and duplicate what is going on in this patch. And that way we can test it out, make sure they're not lying to us, make sure it works. But this tutorial is from Cycling 74, so I'm going to assume that they are not lying to us. So we have a note in, we have a pack. We can specify 0, 0 here because we know it's going to be 2 integers. And we're going to hook it up, throw a message box in here, and make sure that every step of the way we're good to go. I'm going to take my input from my little keyboard here instead, just for now. Oh, and that's playing something in our song, but that's all right. Yeah, So we've got notes coming in. You can see them in the little message box. Note on number 59, velocity 36, and then I let it go, and we get note on, or rather a note off message with the same note number, 59, and 0 velocity. Alright, good to go so far. Let's keep going.
We'll soon see how keeping pitch and velocity together as a list will be useful. So let's leave the pack in the patch, but add an unpack directly afterwards, which creates a single patch chord for note messages. But on to more interesting things. Let's take the MIDI pitch and convert it to frequency by using the M to F object. So, for example, a MIDI pitch of 69, the note A, corresponds to a frequency of 440 Hertz. Next, we add a synthesis module of some kind, like this saw tilde object, which makes a good sounding sawtooth wave.
And we're going to be replacing that with our super
The problem now is that the sawtooth wave is sounding all the time. Notes have no beginning or end. We need to add an amplitude envelope. For this purpose, there is a very useful object named Adsr tilde. Adsr stands for attack, decay, sustain, release. Here's a graph showing time in milliseconds.
And we did this last time
from 0 to 1.
with the function object that lets us
to
draw
go
this
from
little
0
graph.
to 1 at the beginning of the note. Decay is the time it then takes to fade down to a sustain value. Sustain being a measure of amplitude, not time. Finally, release is the time for the end of the note to fade to 0. When we press the key down, the attack begins, followed by decay and sustain. When we release the key, the release begins. Incoming MIDI velocity normally ranges from 0 to 127. We scale it to go from 0 to 1. The left outlet of Adsr tilde outputs the resulting amplitude values as an audio signal, which we can multiply times the output of the oscillator to produce an amplitude envelope.
Let's make sure we've got that so far. So we have our note number and velocity coming in here, getting packed together so that we don't have to worry about timing issues. We wrote a little note about that. And then we unpack the pitch by itself, just so that we can convert it to frequency, which is what saw tilde here needs to make us a nice happy little sawtooth wave. Then we take velocity and we send that into, oh, we need one more object. We are going to say divide by 127 because velocity is always 0 to 127, and we want to scale that to a 1, 0 to 1 rather. And I almost forgot the decimal point here. We need that. You can see if I zoom in here, because we are telling Max that we want floats. We need decimals, numbers between 0 and 1. So velocity goes in here, this goes into Adsr tilde, and then we need a times tilde so that we can multiply our sawtooth wave by this envelope. That goes in the right, and then I'm going to put a gain tilde in here because I don't want things to be loud in my or your headphones. That would suck. Make a little room here. And then we just need an easy DAC to send output. Right. I think that's the right outlet. Let's make this a little bigger so we got some room to play here. There we are. Boop. Left. Yep, that's the scaled audio output. Send it out both channels. And let's take a look at our audio preferences. Options, audio status. And we want to be sending out to black hole so that y'all can hear it. Let's turn that shit on. And now hopefully when I play a note, we should get a mono sawtooth wave if I turn this up. Well, we're still getting a piano note. Hold on. Looks like it, just kind of quiet. There we are. Lovely. Hey, we got somebody new. Oh, we've got a bot. Never mind. Ignore chat. He's all good. I do not want to become famous by buying followers. Thank you very much. Let me make sure you can hear my nice beeping. Yep, looks like you can hear it. Good, good. All right. So let's make sure we're caught up on our notes. We understand what's going on in our patch here. Let's see. Saw tilde being controlled by an Adsr tilde envelope. We will be replacing that with our fancy function envelope. And yeah, looks good to me. We got notes now. Let's see what he does next.
Now it sounds like a real monophonic synthesizer.
Yay!
To make the synth polyphonic, we're going to have to duplicate this voice.
Right,
Let's
and that's where we got
select the
hung
main
up.
part of the patch and choose Edit, Encapsulate. The result is that part of the patch is now an editable subpatcher. Since we're happy with the patcher so far, and since we want to make a lot of these, let's save the subpatcher as a patcher in its own right. In other words, a new max document, something we call an abstraction. We'll name it synth_voice.
Okay, so I was just writing down that he encapsulated from the unpack, where we break up the MIDI note, all the way to the audio output. So let's us do that too. It's like following a recipe. Not that I'm any good at cooking, but I can make desserts. So, you know, we do what we can. So we're going to take this chunk of code. Going to go Control, click, oh no, wait, it's in Edit, Encapsulate. Shift Command E. There we go. And now we can jump in here and we're going to do a nice save as simple saw. Let's call it that. We can save it in Max Instruments. That would be fine. Did that do it? Yeah, I think so. Let's close this. And now let's see what he does next.
Since both the main patcher and the new abstraction are on the desktop, Max can find the abstraction. So we can just type its name into an object box and it will load. But this is
Okay, let's see if we can do that much. Now we need a new object and we say, hopefully it'll find it. What did I call it? Simple saw. And there's our little patch. Awesome. All right, and now we get to replace this with this. Right. Next.
This is still not polyphony.
Still not polyphony.
Even if we copy several of these abstractions and mix their outputs together, we'll need a system to manage incoming notes and decide which voice will play which note.
Right, and that's
the
where we
easiest
were
technique
stuck.
for this is to use polytilde. By simply typing polytilde before the name of the abstraction, we get a polytilde object with the abstraction inside. To create more voices, we add a second argument, which is the number of voices. So now polytilde has 16 copies of this abstraction inside. Note, however, that the synth is still monophonic, and we've lost the outlet too, so we've got a bit more work to do.
All right, we're going to make sure we got that step of it. So now what we're going to do is open our simple saw patch inside of polytilde, and we say simple saw, and we give it a number of voices. For our purposes, 16 should be fine. We only have 8 buttons, and 16 is double that. So that's like if we're using an arpeggiator or something and we want some wiggle room. 16 should be fine. Great. Double click it. There it is. It's being found. We got no error messages. We're good to go so far. Onward, chat.
In order to use polytilde's note management system, we add the word MIDI note before each pitch velocity list.
So that's the big thing I wanted to make sure to remember. So we make a patch, we put it into polytilde. Then we say prepend MIDI note. Nope. One word, MIDI note. Right after the packed note number, and velocity. Groovy. So we'll do that. Prepend MIDI note. Goes in there. And we go from there. Now we can get rid of this. So far, so good, chat. And prepend, by the way, we can actually just look at this if anyone doesn't know what this object does. All we are doing is saying, take whatever comes into this prepend object and put the word MIDI note right before it. So we're telling Tilde that what we are sending it is pairs of note number and velocity. All right, let's go.
Prepend does this job. And while we're here, let's enable voice stealing with this attribute. In other words, if we play so many notes that we actually run out of notes, Tilde will automatically terminate the oldest notes to make voices available for the new ones.
We're going to keep it simple and not bother with this,
reveals the first
because
copy
we
of the
only
synth
need 8
underscore
notes.
voice abstraction. Option clicking on the window title bar opens the original patcher so we can make changes. The first thing we have to do is replace the ordinary inlets and outlets with special ones for use with Tilde. They're in, out, in tilde, and out tilde.
All right, so let's write that down. Option click on the header to edit a Tilde patch. And then what we need to remember to do is we have these special inlets that we use. Use special inlets, in, out, or in tilde, out, tilde. And I believe we define their order with the numbers 1 and up. So you can see what he's doing here is adding an in 1 instead of our normal patcher inlet. Right, so option click. Nope, it's command click. It's not letting me. Ah, here we go. Simple saw 1. I'm on a newer version of Mac, so this might not be true yet. How do I edit this? Can't. Okay, that's fine. Let's just open it back up again. Open recent simple saw. There we are. So we need in 1. All right. And then pretty soon we're going to be able to make some noise with this. So we go in 1. That's our notes. We can get rid of this now. And then what does he use here?
The object in 1 replaces the first inlet for max messages. The object out tilde 1 replaces the first outlet for audio signals.
Right.
After saving this new version, we see the outlet reappear.
Okay, so we use tilde, of course, for audio signals, so we need an out tilde 1. And in without the tilde just means we're taking regular max messages that are not at audio speed. Groovy. Let's save this. Close it. And we don't need this anymore. Let's copy this and make a new Tilde so that it picks up our new version. There we go. Now we have inlets and outlets. Connector up. Here we are. Save. Oop. Yeah, I guess we don't have to save that yet.
Let's hook it up and try it out.
All right, now we try it out.
Still only one voice.
Okay.
There's one more object to add. This Tilde is an object that works only inside of Tilde, and it manages communication between each voice and the Tilde object itself. If we send this Tilde a number or audio signal which is 0, then the Tilde knows that the voice is not playing. It's available. Non-zero, the voice is busy, and Tilde will try to choose another voice. Conveniently, when the voice is not busy, its amplitude envelope will be 0. When the voice is playing, its amplitude envelope will be non-zero. So let's just connect the left outlet of ADSR tilde to this poly tilde and save. Polyphony, we've done it. Well, not so fast. Note that when we hear several voices...
We've got a little bit more to do here, but it's coming along. You can see we've got our this poly tilde, we added that in, and we've connected ADSR tilde to it. So we're just telling poly tilde that when this amplitude envelope is active, then there should be sound. And when it isn't, then this voice is free. Free as the wind. Next.
Voices playing at once. The combined output is so loud that we get distortion. So now is a great time to add a gain tilde object to poly tilde's output. Now let's take care of two more details in order to really refine our synth. First of all, if we connect ADSR tilde's third outlet to this poly tilde will receive mute 1 and mute 0 messages, which mean that when the voice is not playing, its local signal processing, or DSP, is turned off. This is obviously quite useful in managing the overall performance of our patch. Secondly, there is something a bit more tricky to consider. If
We'll pause there. Okay, so we've got this poly. We want the left inlet from ADSR envelope to, let's see, to say busy or not busy. So I'm going to just update my notes here so that this is all stuff to do with this poly. It's important to organize your notes as you take them, because really what you're doing here is you're organizing your brain. By taking the time to write this out, I'm going to make sure that I actually remember this. So then we need the third outlet, left outlet from ADSR envelope to inlet of poly, of this poly, to say busy or not busy. And then we have the third outlet from ADSR. I wish I could turn autocorrect off on this, but I haven't bothered to do that yet. Okay, and that also to inlet of this poly says turn DSP. Oh my god, DSP on or off. There we go. So let's do that. Here's our simple saw. Third outlet to this poly. All right. Save. Did that pick it up? Yep, it did. All right, let's give that a try.
To force voice stealing, poly tilde will stop the voices playing old notes.
Right, so and this is voice stealing. So we didn't do that. We're good. We got our gain tilde here. Let's give it a go. Hey, look at that. Polyphony. Booyah. So we're going to have to do this same thing with our cool super saw.
It can be used to play the new notes.
I think there's nothing else we need in here.
By sending the voices a note off, immediately followed by a note on. The note off will cause ADSR tilde to begin its release fade out, but before it can get to 0, the new note on arrives. ADSR tilde is smart enough to cut its losses and quickly fade to 0.
Good to go through the whole thing of your tutorial so you don't miss any steps accidentally.
This is one of the best aspects of ADSR tilde since it prevents clicks.
Yep.
The moment when the output of the voice is 0 is also the perfect time to change the frequency of the oscillator and change
Okay,
other
so he does do
parameters
one
of the
other
patch.
thing here.
At that moment, ADSR tilde's second outlet, which is an audio signal, makes a transition from 0 to 1. By attaching an edge tilde object, we get a bang when this happens. So let's store the frequency information until that bang arrives. We'll replace our unpack with a swap and then cross the patch chords. That reverses pitch and velocity twice, so in the end the pitch is still on the left and the velocity is on the right. However, it also means that pitch, leaves the right outlet of swap, which means that it arrives first. The pitch is converted to frequency and then stored in a float object. By sending it to the float object's right inlet, the number waits until a bang arrives in the left inlet. And that bang arrives from edge tilde at the precise moment that the voice's output is 0.
Okay, let's do that. So we have second outlet of ADSR tilde goes through edge tilde, which gives us a bang on a 0 to 1 transition, I believe. So similarly to what we've done with select 1 connected to a toggle. And the other thing we need to do is swap pitch velocity so that they are coming out in the correct order. We want pitch first. Pitch first, which goes through MIDI to frequency, gets stored in float until edge tilde tells us the envelope is ready and sends the bang. I believe that's how this works. So let's do it. Let's go to the right application. Okay. So we need to reopen our simple saw. Here we go. So we want the second outlet of ADSR. We want edge tilde. Let's take a quick little glance at that help file, because I'm not super familiar with this. Yep, detect logical signal transitions. So this is like saying select 1, but for a signal. So we have a 0 here, but as soon as I go over 1, we get a bang on the left here. And if I go back to 0, we get a bang on the right. Okay, cool. So Edge just tells you if a signal is on or off. Beautiful. So second outlet of ADSR tilde. And then what we want is a swap here instead of an unpack. Inlet goes here. We get rid of this unpack. And we send our velocity over there. MIDI to frequency. Cool. And then we need a float box to store this frequency. So we use the right inlet so that it hangs out and waits there. And then we use this edge tilde to send that float when we are ready. And then this float needs to go into the saw. And we're pretty good. Make a little space here. This guy. Right. Looks good. Let's save that and give it a go. And see if there's anything else.
There you have
it.
Everything you need to know to build a clean, robust polyphonic synth. Remember that our little sound module, the saw tilde object, can be replaced by whatever sound generating patch you want.
Which is what we're going to do in a minute.
Thing.
Beautiful. I will drop the link to this tutorial in our Discord, which you are welcome to join. You'll find the link to it in my About section. And yeah, that seems like some poly to me. Awesome. So let's just save this as poly reference patch. And now we can jump over and use our own stuff. All right, chat. I think we're ready. So what we are going to do is, first of all, one step at a time. Let's close this. That's our MIDI version. And then we're going to go and open up our sound engine version. So we're in here. Yeah, Silver Machine Sound 2. That's our most recent dude. Let's put him down here on a fresh track. Oh yes, that's right. That's fun. Yeah, we're gonna fix that. Does a bunch of clicking when you open it. So I'm gonna turn that down. I'm gonna forget that I've turned the track down, I bet. Let's open this guy up. Do 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 do. I said open this guy up. There we go. Oh, by the way, Chad, I cleaned this up sometime last week. Look at how pretty it is. This is our showing and hiding section for our button bee patchers. And this is what we want to tackle now. So, as you can see, we got 4 buttons hooked up to this, and we have some stuff going on here with note on and note off, and this is what we're going to change. So first of all, I'm just going to do the sound part. Let's open this guy up and make this a polyphonous patch. Right, so here's our sound. We've got MC saw, line, we've got an ADSR, and yeah, we're using line tilde instead of ADSR, but should still work, I think. So I'm not going to mess with this, but I am going to copy this part. And, oh yes, so we've got saw into, this is times tilde, but the MC for multi-channel version, line I guess we need, and here's where we send our frequency in along with the deviate. Alright. And this is why we're doing the sound separately. Okay. So we've got to make this into a little poly tilde thing. Oh, that's alright. No worries there. So, new patch. Paste that in. So this is going to be our poly tilde patch. Let's open this guy up for reference. So what we need is an out tilde 1. Easy. We need an in 1. So this is going to take notes. And here's our MTOF, MIDI to frequency. I'm going to put that here. And as soon as that comes in, it gets packed up with whatever our current number is for deviate. So we need an inlet for that. In 2. Fine. I'm nervous, chat. Alright. Now we need a... I suppose we'll follow this. We'll do a swap. We're going to assume that we have pitch and velocity packed up and sent in here. Same as we did before. And in fact, we're going to use a keyboard first. Just keep things simple. Then we'll use the PlayStation 3 controller. Alright, so left outlet of swap is going to be velocity. And so that goes to line tilde. So we're using... Let's not use line tilde yet. Let's see how things work with ADSR first, because we know this works. Oh my god. Let's open that as the original. There we go. We'll figure out our envelope after this. So we have this poly, we have the edge thing, we have swap. We want the left outlet of swap, which is our velocity. to go in here, get divided by 127, and then we have the right outlet of swap, which is our MIDI note number, goes into MIDI to frequency. Move this down, and then we're going to do this same thing here where we need to store it for a second as a float. And trigger it to be sent by using edge tilde. Awesome. So we've got, let's check with our notes real quick. Make sure we got all these little guys. So we have to remember to prepend with MIDI note. We have to use our special inlets. We got those. And we have this poly tilde. We have it connected up to ADSR. And we have our edge, which is triggering our notes. We have the swap for pitch and velocity. Looks like everything. Okay, chat. Here we go. So now I'm going to save this as, let's call it Super Duper Saw. We'll put it in, I guess we'll put it in Max Instrument. Cool. Now we can close this and close this. We're not going to fuck that up yet. And I'm going to hide that. I'm going to make a new track because we're going to keep this simple. Next step is to connect that up in Max for Live as a poly tilde and be able to play it with the keyboard. Okay. And it should hopefully be fully polyphonic. So I'm going to just start with a new Max instrument. We're going to open this guy up. We're going to do a save as. Let's call this Silver Machine Sound Check. We have MIDI in here. And we probably just want to use note in instead. So we're now following this part of the patch. So instead of doing this in, regular Max MSP, we are now duplicating this inside of Max for Live. One step at a time. We started with building exactly what was in the tutorial, and now we've moved on to trying to use a different sound engine, and if we get that working, we're getting Max for Live to work. In fact, if we wanted to be really careful, we could just try this in regular Max before doing Max for Live, but I'm feeling dangerous. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? So we don't need this. We do need this. We want these. And we're going to hook this guy up here. We pack our note number and velocity. We prepend it with MIDI note. And then we're going to send it to poly tilde. And we're going to open the patch we just made. Super duper saw. And we're going to give it 16 voices. Did it find it? It did. Lovely. And let's add in a gain slider here as well. Whoops. Pull that guy up here. Send MIDI notes in here. We're also going to want a float to control the detuning. That's that deviate thingy on our super saw. Output from poly tilde into our gain slider. And then finally, gain slider into plug out. And now, if that works, we should be able to play our super saw using a keyboard. Groovy. So let's add this and this to presentation. We'll put that over here. And let's save it. And let's hope for the best. Here we go. Oh, whoops. Forgot to tell it to start in presentation mode. Command-Shift-I for the inspector. And we want open in presentation. Sweet. Save, close. There we are. Okay, enable MIDI. Turn this up a bit. Hey, I think... What am I hearing? Hang on a second. I think we're hearing this. Okay, let's turn this off. I think we're done with this, but let's hide it for now. Yeah, we're not getting output. Wonder what could be wrong. Okay, so MIDI's coming in. We've got monitor auto. Okay. Oh! No, yeah, we turned this up. This is fine. Okay, well, let's see. Let's just close some of our other stuff here. Let's open this guy up. Let's see what is going on. Do we have any error messages? Nope. Let's see if we're getting any sort of MIDI in here. Yep, we are. Alright, so that's cool. We are prepending it with MIDI note, is that correct? Let's compare with this patch that we know works. Prepend MIDI note. Yep, looks good. Is it finding our Tilde patch? It is. Alright. Well, let's open that up. Throw in some, Let's throw in some messages so that we can see what's going on here. I'm going to throw in some print. And let's see. I'm also going to enable the signal probe and the event probe so that we can see when things are coming through. So we should be getting... Oh, you know what we did? Oh, I see it. 10 points if you see it, chat. Oh, hey, there's people in chat now. Hey, Ows, thanks for coming in. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? Fruits, Fruit Gang represent. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you haven't been waiting there too long. I've been trying to debug this stupid thing. But I think we just got it. I think we just forgot to connect this ADSR up. So that needs to go over here. All right. Escape. Let's save this. Let's close it. Let's make sure it got loaded here. Looks good to me. All right, let's save that. Let's close it. We have too many windows open. But yeah, here we go. Let's turn this up and let's play a note. Yeah, notes. All right. Can we play more than one note? We can. Boss. Does our number box work? It does, but it's not working in real time. Okay, so slight adjustment here to make this sound awesome. Oh, yeah. Let's open this way. Open recent. Super duper saw. What is happening here? I'm so intrigued. Yes, Sarah. What we're doing is making our synth be able to handle more than one note at once. And then we can do some jamming with it. This is the engine that's going to be driven by our PS3 controller. And it's called a super saw. And so we've made this little patch here called a super duper saw, because I'm a dork, and that's what it's called now. So I think what's up is... I want this number box to send anytime that... even while a note is playing. I wonder if we really need this edge tilde thing. Let's do a save as. Super duper saw 2. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens if we just take this out, just send this here, and take this out. This might not work, but this would be so much simpler. This goes in here. No, this goes in here. This goes over here. So this is kind of how we had it before. Then our envelope comes in here. Oh, we still need an unpack here. So now we do have pitch on the left, velocity on the right. Oh, I see. Okay, we do want... Let's see. Okay, just thinking for a second. We want pitch to come through here and set this, and then we want velocity to come in here and play the note. Okay, so that's fine. And so really what we need is, let's do swap again. I think that should work. Swap. Let's test it actually. Paste. Let's say that I send the number 69, nice, and the number 4 in here. We're going to make a pretend note. I just want to see what this does. So if I print this out, both of these at once, I should see 69 followed by 4. Let's take a quick look. Yep, that's right. Okay, so that is what we want. I think. That's why we did a save as. Swap. So we're just changing the places because we want to have pitch first, then we want velocity. And then we can just send this number box directly in to control the nifty detuning even while a note is playing. Okay, let's try that. So now we would want to say super duper saw 2 and save it. Let's make sure that's there. Yep, that's loaded. Okay, fingers crossed, chat. Let's see if it works. Turn the gain slider up. Yeah. Interesting. Let's make it a little louder. Oh my god, not that loud. Now it sounds like a swarm of bees. Not sure that's what we want. Let's put it back. It was worth a try. Let's keep it simple for now. So back to the original. Close that up. Now it does not sound like a swarm of bees. Okay, we'll take those. So what's going on here? That is a very angry swarm of bees, says Sarah. Hey, it's just a swarm of bees. It might not be angry. It's just, it's just being a swarm of bees. But I think what was happening there, and what is happening now, is that when we play a note, it picks up whatever the value of this number is. When I play another note, if I change this, it's not affecting the note that's currently playing, but it's going to get picked up by the next one. Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. We can do that. So next would be take this guy, and now we get to hook this up to our PlayStation controller. And then I think we can call that a day, and we can do some jamming with it. So let's go over here, and now we get to clean up this little mess we made last week. Look at this fucking... So speaking of swarm of bees, this is a spider's nest. And we're going to do a save as. No. That's a scary error. The max function show dialog returned with error 9999. Internal error. But things didn't crash, so we're good. Happy little swarm of bees. Thank you, Teeth and Graves. That's what we want. Let's try and save this as again, please. Please. Now we're beach balling. I just wanted to do a save as, chat. What is so wrong with that? I'm not allowed to save my work today, apparently. We're living life on the edge. So how's your Saturday, chat? I hope things are good wherever you are. I guess I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody I'm still planning on doing a video game stream when we hit 10 subscribers. We got 7 more to go. And I'm going to do something special for Halloween next weekend, but it's a surprise. And it's definitely not a surprise because I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. Definitely not. But no, we got some ideas. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little different. Okay, things are crashing. Let's force swoop. Nope. Okay. Live? Something? Okay. That's fine. You know what? We're going to close this. We're going to not save it. There. You happy? We happy? We don't need this anymore. We are done with that for now. Actually, we still need that. Alright, let's try opening this again. Let's try saving it as. There we go. Alright, everybody's happy. Version 3. Let's go. And we are going to come over here and we're going to get rid of this terrifying mess. And now, so, instead of note in, we're using these, and they are coming from our game controller. So I want to just glance at this for a second. Right, we have a note out in here. We have these outlets. So yeah, what we need to do is just say, just like this patch, in our sound check, we need a pack, followed by a prepend MIDI note for each of these. I think is all we need. So let's hook one of these up. Well, let's hook them all up. We're going to do one for each. Alright, that's 2, that's 3. Then we have, that's 1, 2, 3. Got one more over here. You guys doing anything fun for Halloween? Gonna go trick-or-treating and dress up? Or you can come and hang out with me and we'll do dorky, scary things for Halloween. It's gonna be a good time. So there's 1. We got 3 more. Probably gonna be in the afternoon though. So you got plenty of time to do both. Number 2. Number 3. 2 more. Move these out of my way. Yep. And number 4. Okay, cool. So what this should give us is a note for each button. Alright. Let's see. And then we can send this to our Tilde and then send it out here. Getting close, chat. We got this. So, are we getting buttons? Let's lock that. Let's select our controller. Yay, buttons. Okay, cool. So let's see what this looks like. I need a happy little print object to see what these are doing. Make sure they're behaving. I think I can... Yeah, here's a quick little tip for you to save time. If you need to copy a cable like this a bunch of times, find the little green dot, hold down Option, and then you can just drag it. There we go. That's 4. We have 8 of them. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Let's open up our console. Let's close that. Or clear it, rather. And... okay, good. Let's lock it. Let's choose a scale. We'll take the happy little major scale today. Let's go to F. And come up a couple octaves. Yep, I'm seeing MIDI note 0 here. Seeing a bunch of other prints. What is this nonsense coming from? Ah, we don't need that. Save. Let's clear that. Nice. That looks good. That looks like what we want. Looks like just what we had in our little test patch. Okay, I'm feeling good about this, chat. Let's fucking go. Let's close that. Let's unlock. Let's take this print out, because we know this is working now. So now, all we need is our super saw with our number box. And I suppose let's put a gain tilde in here too, because we don't want to be too loud when we have a swarm of bees. There we go. So we've just taken the sound engine we tested earlier right out of here. Put that here. I'm scared. Is it gonna work? Oh my god. Plug the gain slider into the output here. And let's plug all of these in. Boom. Option drag. 2. 3. Come on. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Okay. Save. Do we have errors yet? No, this is just printing stuff. That's fine. Let's go to presentation mode and put our... We'll leave that there. We'll want it later. But let's put our gain slider somewhere that we can use it. Yep, and this number box. Whee! Come over here. Just take this out of presentation for now. It's not doing anything. And let's save it. Okay. I'm nervous. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? I don't know. Let's try it. So, select our controller. We have buttons. Let's select a scale. Wonder what scale I was in for this song. Oh, hey, that's cool. Looks like we were in F sharp minor. M. There we go. Here we are. We want Aeolian. We want F sharp. We want to come up a couple octaves. And turn this up a bit. Let's remember to turn up the actual track slider this time. It's not beeping. That's a good sign. Yes! We have notes. Let's turn it up some more. Woo! And we have multiple notes. We have true polyphony. Holy fucking crap. That was tricky. We've taken some steps. Now let's add some effects and have some fun with this. We need some delay. We need some reverb. Give it some spice. Let's come down an octave, maybe. Fucking wonderful. Let's start it over. Let's see what we can do. And we no longer need this guy. Oh yeah, thank you, Teeth Engraved. Teeth Engraved says chorus might sound cool on that. Yeah, sure, we can save that. Or not, whatever. There we go. Yeah, let's add some chorus. And a little detuning. Hey, that's working. Turn it up a little bit. And what's fun is just like a video game, I can see that like square and R1 sound nice together, and triangle and circle sound nice together. It's like having little combos. Hey, thanks, Newcomb93. Newcomb93 says this is going somewhere. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a little song my band and I are working on right now. And, yeah, it's starting to sound pretty nice with this. Sick! That's pretty fun. Alright. And that seems like a good place to call it. Hey, so we've got this super saw working. Ethan Graves says, with that chorus, the synth sounds kind of Roland Juno-ish. Yeah, I keep coming back to I like the Juno. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it made me think of some of the sort of synth strings you get from the 80s, and that was definitely part of the idea. So yeah. Hell yeah, guys, we did it. We got Polyphony. So next time we're going to get some filter action in there, get the joysticks happening, and then we're going to, at the end of this, have a couple patches that you guys can use. I'm going to share them in the Discord, and one of them will be for just plain MIDI, so you can control any of your synths, and the other one is going to make sounds like this and fun, swooshy psych rock sounds. And we're getting close. It is within spitting distance. And that, I think, is going to be the stream for today. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Fun Halloween stream next weekend. I'm stoked. There will be exciting surprises. And, yeah, let's go raid somebody. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. This was fun. We made it. Let's see who's streaming. Oh, let's go visit Penguin. The Penguin Bean. Raid. Let's go. Woo. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Raid now. Yar.